Hello, Alicia here. I am showing some of my tea plant propagations. In the front tea garden, we moved half of it, and really the tea had a lot of good growth. So I cut quite a few, and I'll show you. This used to be one plant. So my favorite way to propagate tea is to cut the stem into like 8-inch pieces around there, 8 to 10, and just put it right in soil. Well draining soil in the shade. Keep it, you don't have to worry too much about keeping it moist. And then pretty quickly, like within a few weeks, you'll get little buds, and then eventually, all goes well, they grow further. So you can see here, this stem had 3 buds that developed further. So 1, 2, and 3. And at this point, I'll show you the other side. Like you could keep all 3. You could see which ones survive. These all look pretty good. So I don't know. I'll see how they grow, and it'll probably be really crowded, especially for these 2 here. So I'll see which one's stronger and probably take out the other one and just cut it off. I am noticing, I think that's just dirt, but sometimes we get ants here. Okay, and then let's look at the other one. So the other one, very nicely, just had 1 on each side sprout, and then they're both growing here. Okay, so these are probably maybe up to 2 months in the pot. And then the top I kept. So this was the original top of the tea, and I gave it a good length, as you can see, just like the others. And then I just ripped off a bunch of the lower leaves, and the ones remaining here, I gave them a chop so that they wouldn't drain too much energy as the piece here, I forget the official name, started to grow roots. So it had a little bit of a head start because it could get energy from the sun through these leaves, and then work on its root system. So gradually, they die off, and then I'll show you with the tea. It's really easy. Just rip, well, that one just fell off. Just to rip it off. Let's see if it proves me right. There you go. And that one's looking good. So these have started to show, quite a bit of growth here. And then here you see the new leaves, which are smaller than what it was previously because it doesn't have the roots to support the big leaves. That one's been eaten by an oriental rose beetle that's been flying around, a bunch of them. And there's the new growth. So what I neglected to do was to write on this pot what kind of tea it was. I guess I thought I'd just recognize them. But oh well, they're still pretty. So here's one. And here's another one I cut. This one I believe this should be the Lady in Waiting, because it has a wider leaf that doesn't get as long. But there's some of the new leaves. And since they're in shade with this variety, they're more colorful in some shade versus full sun. In full sun, they can get bleached out, or they just require a lot more water to keep their coloring. And here is a little bit of an earlier stage, of the third one coming out here. So in this case, it's already got 2, but that is a nice distance, like kind of around the stem from this one. So I think I'll let that one keep going for now. Okay, so I will show you, I had a third one that I think this one is the Red Sister that I cut, and it wasn't a pot like the others, just 3 in there just to get some roots. But I thought one was dead, so I decided to just move them to separate pots already. So this one doesn't look as great. You can see, I think this side is still kind of a baby. But there's the growing one eaten up by that beetle. So I just repotted it. Here was the top. So we have some cut leaves still, and then the new leaves. That beetle, I should get like a net to catch them as they buzz around. They're so annoying. And this is the one that I thought was dead because the top is like very slightly squishy. I don't know if you can see. There's a little movement there. But as I took it out, I saw that it did have a lot of healthy roots, and then I saw this. So I think it did start at the top. It did start growing at the top. There's one here. But for whatever reason, I think it didn't get enough sun. I'll show you where I had them. They were kind of out in the front of the sidewalk here, but then I put them all towards the back there. So I think it didn't have enough sun and died. But plants are resilient. So it started one here, and then there's another one here which I may have knocked off as I repotted it. I don't know, we'll see. So I'm going to trim this one back, right, to about there, try to get some of this junk part off, and then watch it and see what happens. So there's an update on the tea. Tea are one of my favorite to grow because they're easy to propagate by this method. Here's another one. This was a small leaf one, a mini tea. This one's much older, but a slower grower, so that's why it hasn't gotten as big as the others. All right, have fun in your garden. Bye.